Did you know that the way you store your vegetables can make a huge difference to your health, especially as we age? What if I told you that the very things you've been doing to preserve your veggies could actually be shortening their shelf life and stripping away their nutrition? In today's video, I'm going to reveal the common mistakes most people make when storing food and how you can avoid them to maximize the freshness, flavor, and nutritional value of your vegetables. Whether you're trying to eat healthier, save money, or simply keep your food safe, this is the guide you need. Stick around because I'll also share the surprising truth about which vegetables should never go in the fridge and which ones must be kept chilled to avoid spoilage. Let's dive into these tips that will change the way you look at food storage for good. More vegetables that older adults should never store in the refrigerator. Potatoes. Potatoes are one of the most common vegetables that should never be stored in the refrigerator. While it may seem logical to keep them cool, cold temperatures, below 40 degrees Fahrenheit or 4 degrees Celsius, cause the starch in potatoes to convert into sugar. This can lead to a process known as acrylamide formation when cooked at high temperatures, such as frying or baking, which is a substance linked to nerve damage, inflammation, and even an increased risk of cancer. Additionally, refrigeration can alter the texture of the potatoes, making them unpleasant to eat. Best storage. Potatoes should be kept in a cool, dry, and dark place, ideally in a pantry or cellar. A paper bag or perforated container works well to allow air circulation and prevent moisture buildup, which could lead to mold. Always store potatoes away from onions to prevent them from spoiling more quickly. Storing onions in the refrigerator is a mistake that many people make, particularly in humid climates. The moisture from the fridge causes onions to become soft, mushy, and can encourage mold growth. In addition, the strong odor of onions can permeate other foods in the fridge. Furthermore, refrigeration can cause onions to lose their pungency and flavor over time. Best storage. Onions should be stored in a cool, dry, and well-ventilated area, such as a pantry. It's important to keep onions in a mesh bag or basket to allow for proper airflow. If onions have been cut, they can be stored in the refrigerator, but should be wrapped tightly in plastic wrap or an airtight container to prevent their strong smell from affecting other foods. Tomatoes are highly sensitive to cold temperatures. Storing them in the refrigerator disrupts the natural ripening process, causing their flesh to break down and become mealy. Refrigeration also reduces the tomato's flavor and significantly decreases its lycopene content, a powerful antioxidant that helps fight cancer and heart disease. The colder environment of the fridge can damage the cell structure of tomatoes, resulting in a mushy and flavorless texture when eaten. Best storage. Tomatoes should be kept at room temperature, out of direct sunlight. A countertop or kitchen windowsill is ideal. If you have overripe tomatoes, you can refrigerate them temporarily to extend their shelf life. But ideally, they should be used as soon as possible to avoid losing their flavor. Garlic, like onions, is highly susceptible to mold and sprouting when stored in the fridge. While refrigeration may keep garlic from sprouting quickly, the moisture in the fridge encourages mold growth and can cause the cloves to soften and lose their flavor. Additionally, garlic bulbs stored in the refrigerator tend to lose their pungent aroma and taste. Best storage. Whole garlic bulbs should be stored in a dry, cool, and dark place. A well-ventilated area such as a garlic keeper or mesh bag is perfect for maintaining proper airflow. Once garlic is peeled or chopped, it can be refrigerated for a few days in an airtight container, but it's best to use it fresh to retain its flavor and health benefits. 4 vegetables that older adults should always keep refrigerated: leafy greens, spinach, kale, lettuce, etc. Leafy greens are highly perishable and lose their freshness quickly when left at room temperature. Older adults are particularly vulnerable to foodborne illnesses, and leafy greens provide a breeding ground for harmful bacteria when stored improperly. Storing these vegetables in the refrigerator helps to preserve their crispness and nutritional value. Best storage. Leafy greens should be washed, dried thoroughly, and then stored in a plastic bag or airtight container in the crisper drawer of the refrigerator. If possible, store them with a paper towel to absorb any excess moisture that can cause them to wilt or rot. It's important to store them at temperatures below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius, to prevent bacterial growth. Carrots can easily lose moisture and become soft or limp if stored at room temperature. The cool environment of the refrigerator helps preserve their crunchiness and prolongs their shelf life. Additionally, refrigeration prevents carrots from becoming contaminated with bacteria that thrive at warmer temperatures. Best storage. Carrots should be stored in the vegetable crisper drawer of the refrigerator in a plastic bag or container. They can also be stored in a bowl of water to keep them hydrated. Be sure to remove any green tops, as they can cause the carrots to lose moisture more quickly. When stored properly, carrots can last for several weeks. Cucumbers are about 95% water, which makes them particularly sensitive to temperature changes. Storing cucumbers at room temperature causes them to soften, shrivel, and become watery. The refrigerator's cool environment slows down the rate at which they lose moisture, allowing them to stay fresh and crisp. Best storage. Cucumbers should be kept in the crisper drawer of the refrigerator, preferably in a plastic bag with a few small holes for ventilation. While cucumbers can be stored at room temperature for a day or two, they are best enjoyed fresh and should be kept chilled to maintain their texture and flavor. Bell peppers are another vegetable that benefits from refrigeration. At room temperature, they can lose moisture quickly, causing them to shrivel, soften, and lose their vibrant color. Refrigerating bell peppers helps them retain their crisp texture and fresh flavor. Best storage. Bell peppers should be placed in the refrigerator's crisper drawer. If stored properly, they can last up to a week. Avoid storing peppers in plastic bags that trap moisture. Instead, opt for a paper bag or breathable container to prevent them from getting too moist. Once cut, bell peppers should be stored in an airtight container in the fridge to maintain their freshness.